There comes a moment in life when the weight of the world feels entirely too heavy to carry. You wake up exhausted. You look at the road ahead, and all you want to do is lay down, close your eyes, and just quit. If you are hearing this right now, I want you to know that your exhaustion is valid. But quitting is a permanent solution to a temporary storm. The ground beneath you might feel like it is crumbling, but you are not falling. You are simply being planted. Today, we are going to explore profound ancient wisdom and practical mindset shifts that will help you find your footing when life hits you the hardest. Stay with me, because your story is far from over, and the best chapters are yet to be written. When we are in the middle of a deeply painful season, our mind plays a very convincing trick on us. It whispers that the dark clouds above will never clear. It convinces us that the sorrow, the financial struggle, or the loneliness we are experiencing today is our permanent reality. But if we look closely at the fundamental laws of the universe, we see that absolutely nothing stands still. Everything is in a constant, beautiful state of motion. The earth turns, the tides pull back and forth, and the seasons relentlessly transition from the dead of winter into the vibrant bloom of spring. Your life is bound by this same law of nature. The struggles you are facing right now are incredibly heavy, but they are not permanent. In Eastern philosophy, this is known as the law of impermanence. The pain you feel today is just a passing cloud in the vast open sky of your life. You are the sky. The storms will roll in, they will thunder and pour, but eventually, they must run out of rain. They always do. Think about the process of forging a masterpiece sword. The steel does not become strong by sitting quietly on a shelf. It must be plunged into the scorching fire. It must be struck repeatedly with a heavy hammer, bent, folded, and plunged into cold water. If the steel had a voice, it would surely scream. It would beg the blacksmith to stop, asking why it must endure such brutal treatment. But the blacksmith knows that without the fire and the crushing blows, the steel will remain brittle and weak. It is precisely the intense heat and the pounding that transforms an ordinary piece of metal into an unbreakable blade. You are currently in the fire. Life is striking you, testing your limits, and testing your resolve. It feels like punishment, but it is actually preparation. You are being forged for a purpose you might not yet understand. Whenever you feel the overwhelming urge to quit, I want you to imagine your life as a beautifully written novel. Imagine that you are the author, but you are also the main character. If you were to write a story about a hero who never faced any adversity, who received everything they ever wanted the moment they asked for it, and who never had to cry or fight or struggle, who would read that book? No one would find it inspiring. It would be a dull and empty story. The most captivating stories, the ones that move us to tears and inspire us to be better humans, are the ones where the hero is pushed to the absolute edge. The hero falls into the abyss. They lose their way. They are betrayed, broken, and brought to their knees. But right when the audience thinks all hope is lost, the hero finds a hidden reserve of strength. They rise from the ashes. You are the hero of your story. The terrible pain you are feeling today, the failures that make you want to throw in the towel, these are simply the plot twists in your grand novel. They are not the final chapter. You cannot put the pen down now. You have to keep turning the pages because the plot is just starting to build. One day, you will stand on the mountain peak of your success. You will look back at this exact valley of darkness, and you will realize that this pain was necessary. It was the exact lesson you needed to become the person capable of holding the blessings that are coming your way. And more importantly, your story of survival will one day become a survival guide for someone else. There is someone out there in the future who will go through exactly what you are going through right now. They will feel completely lost, just as you do. But because you refused to quit, because you walked through the fire and survived, you will be the light that guides them home. You have to keep going, not just for yourself, but for the people who will one day need your strength. We must also recognize why the urge to quit feels so incredibly overpowering in today's modern society. We are living in an era that has completely detached itself from the natural rhythm of life. We are surrounded by a world that promises instant gratification at every single turn. If you want a meal, you can have it delivered to your door in minutes. If you want to watch a movie, you can stream it instantly. If you want validation, you can post a photo online and receive immediate likes from people across the globe. We have been deeply conditioned to expect that every desire, every goal, and every problem can be resolved with the simple click of a button. But this instant world is a dangerous illusion. When we apply this fast food mentality to our personal struggles, our dreams, and our spiritual growth, we set ourselves up for profound disappointment and heartbreak. We try something new, we work hard for a few weeks or months, and when we do not see immediate success, we declare ourselves failures. We assume the universe is telling us to stop. We feel a deep sense of despair and the heavy temptation to abandon our journey. But you must remember this absolute truth. The things in life that carry real, lasting meaning belong to the slow and deliberate rhythms of nature. True success, deep inner peace, building a lasting relationship, and healing a shattered heart are not things you can download from the internet. They take time. They demand patience. Look at the mighty oak tree. An oak tree does not become a giant of the forest overnight. Before it ever pushes a single green shoot above the soil, it spends months and years in the total darkness of the earth, slowly and silently building a massive root system. If you were to look at the surface of the ground during that time, you might think nothing was happening. You might think the seed was dead. But underneath the surface, crucial work is taking place. The tree is building the foundation it needs so that when it finally grows tall, it will not be blown over by the first strong wind. You are building your roots in the dark right now. The struggles you are facing, the endless days where it feels like you are making zero progress, this is your root system expanding. Do not confuse the silent period of growth with a season of failure. We often look at other people traveling their own paths, seeing their highlight reels and their finished chapters on social media, and we feel like we are falling hopelessly behind. But comparison will blind you to your own progress. Their timeline is not your timeline. Great things take time to cultivate. When the road is long, and your legs are heavy, you will naturally feel stressed, anxious, and deeply fatigued. When this happens, it is entirely acceptable to rest. Give yourself the grace to put down your heavy burdens for a moment. Step away, take a deep breath, sleep, and allow your body and mind to recover. Resting is a necessary pause. But you must never confuse the need to rest with a reason to quit. As long as you have breath in your lungs, As long as you are alive on this earth, you have a chance to turn things around. Rest in the shade of the trees, drink water from the stream, but tomorrow, you must get back up and continue walking. When life feels unbearably hard, there is a strange psychological phenomenon that happens to all of us. Our universe begins to shrink. The walls close in, and we become entirely consumed by our own tragedy. We replay our failures in our minds on a continuous loop. We focus solely on what we have lost, what we lack, and how much pain we are carrying. This is a natural human instinct. It is a survival mechanism to focus inward when we feel threatened. But unfortunately, staying trapped in this self-centered state of suffering becomes a prison of our own making. So how do we break out of this dark mental prison? There is a piece of ancient wisdom that is incredibly powerful, yet very rarely talked about in modern self-improvement. It is a concept that sounds completely counterintuitive. When you are feeling empty, when you feel like you have absolutely nothing left to give and you just want to quit, the fastest way to heal is to go out and help someone else. I know this makes no logical sense at first glance. Why should you offer a helping hand when you are the one drowning? But spiritually and psychologically, this is the ultimate medicine for a broken spirit. Imagine you are trapped in a pitch-black room. You are terrified, cold, and desperate for just a sliver of light. You have a single match. Instead of hoarding that match and crying in the dark, you use it to light a candle for a friend sitting across the room. What happens the exact second you light their candle? Your own darkness is instantly destroyed. You cannot bring light to another person's life without illuminating your own path in the process. When you step outside of your own ego and focus your energy on alleviating someone else's suffering, a miraculous shift happens within your mind. You suddenly realize that you are not useless. You recognize that you still hold immense value and power, even in your broken state. By serving another human being, you interrupt the toxic pattern of self-pity. Furthermore, because you are currently walking through the fire, you have a heightened capacity for empathy. You know exactly how much it hurts to fail, to be lonely, or to be misunderstood. You can offer a level of compassion that someone who has never struggled simply cannot provide. Your pain becomes your superpower in helping others heal. You do not need money or grand gestures to do this. Offer a kind word to a stranger who looks exhausted. Listen intensely to a friend without waiting for your turn to speak. Volunteer your time for a cause that matters. Hold the door open. Smile at someone who feels invisible. The universe operates on a perfect law of energy. What you freely give to the world will always return to you, often in ways you could never predict. By giving away love, kindness, and support when you are at your lowest, you create a vacuum that the universe will inevitably fill with peace and renewed strength for your own journey. Help someone else stand up, and you will find that your own legs have magically grown stronger. At the very core of our suffering is usually an untamed mind. Ancient masters often taught that the mind is a wonderful servant but a terrible master. When you let your mind run wild, it will naturally gravitate toward fear, anxiety, and worst-case scenarios. This is a survival mechanism we inherited from our ancestors. But when you learn how to observe and direct your thoughts, your mind becomes an incredibly powerful tool for peace. Many people make a critical mistake when they are overwhelmed by dark thoughts. They try to forcefully push the negative thought out of their head. They try to aggressively delete it and forcefully plant a happy thought in its place. But the mind does not work that way. Trying to force a negative thought out of your mind is exactly like trying to hold a giant inflatable beach ball underwater. The harder you push it down, the more pressure builds up, and eventually, it explodes back up to the surface and hits you directly in the face. What you resist will always persist. Instead of fighting the negative energy, you must learn to observe it and gently redirect it. When you feel like your mind is spiraling out of control and you want to quit, you can anchor yourself by asking 5 powerful internal questions. These questions are designed to break the hypnotic trance of anxiety and bring your awareness back to the present moment. First, ask yourself, what exactly is stealing my peacefulness right now? Stop running from the feeling and give it a name. Is it anger over a past injustice? Is it deep jealousy? Is it a paralyzing fear of the future, or perhaps a heavy blanket of laziness and procrastination? When you identify the specific emotion, you strip away its terrifying mystery. You realize it is just a feeling, not a permanent state of being. Knowing your exact weakness is the very first step in overcoming it. Second, ask yourself, where is my mind right now? This is the ultimate grounding question. Most of our suffering happens because our awareness is time traveling. We are either living in the past, replaying painful memories and drowning in regret, or we are living in the future, projecting catastrophic events that have not even happened yet. Very rarely is our mind sitting quietly in the present moment. By asking where your mind is, you force your consciousness to snap back to the here and now. The present moment is the only place where you have the actual power to fix anything. Third, ask yourself, is holding on to this thought pattern actually serving me? This is where you apply logic to your emotional storm. If you are holding on to burning anger towards someone who wronged you, is that anger hurting them, or is it only burning you from the inside out? Look at the downside of your current mental state. When you deeply realize that your negative thoughts are actively destroying your own peace and offering zero solutions, the grip they have on you naturally begins to loosen. You simply stop drinking the poison. Fourth, ask yourself, what is the highest level action I can take instead? You have identified the problem, grounded yourself in the present, and realized the toxicity of your thoughts. Now, you must pivot. Come up with a wholesome solution from within. If the problem is anger, the highest level action might be radical forgiveness. If the problem is overwhelming anxiety, the highest level action might be to take 3 deep breaths, close your laptop, and go for a walk outside. You always know deep down what the right thing to do is. You must bravely choose to do it. Finally, ask yourself, what is the freedom waiting for me on the other side? Motivation requires a vision. When you are standing at the crossroads between quitting and moving forward, visualize the reward of doing the hard thing. Think about the profound lightness you will feel when you finally forgive that person. Think about the incredible pride you will feel when you push through the resistance and finish your work. When the vision of your future freedom becomes stronger than the comfort of your current misery, you will take action. When most people hear the word discipline, they immediately feel a sense of dread. Modern society often views discipline, moral conduct, and ethical boundaries as restrictive chains. We are told that freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want, without any limits. But if you look closely at the lives of people who live without any boundaries, they are rarely truly free. They are usually prisoners to their own impulses, their addictions, and their fleeting emotions. In Buddhist philosophy, there is a core practice called sila, which translates to moral conduct or virtuous behavior. This includes fundamental commitments like abstaining from causing harm to living beings, abstaining from taking what is not yours, and avoiding toxic behaviors that cloud the mind. Many beginners look at these precepts and complain that there are too many rules. They feel these guidelines steal their freedom. But this is a massive misunderstanding. These are not rigid laws dictated by an angry God waiting to punish you. They are brilliant psychological boundaries designed to protect your peace. They are the ultimate tools for self-mastery. Why is living a highly principled and disciplined life so important? Because every action you take leaves an imprint on your mind. When you engage in harmful, deceitful, or toxic behavior, you are planting seeds of guilt. You accumulate a heavy, invisible backpack of regret. You lay awake at night listening to the quiet voice in your head reminding you of your mistakes. It is impossible to find peace when you are secretly ashamed of your own actions. The true purpose of discipline is to live a life completely free of regret. The ancient texts outline a beautiful, step-by-step chain reaction of liberation. When you practice self-discipline, you naturally experience a state of non-regret. Because your conscience is totally clear, that lack of regret blossoms into a profound, spontaneous joy. That joy calms your nervous system, leading to deep tranquility. Tranquility allows your mind to concentrate with laser focus. With a concentrated mind, you finally see reality exactly as it is, without the distortion of ego or fear. And seeing the ultimate truth is what brings absolute, unshakable liberation. Discipline does not restrict you. Discipline frees you. It frees you from the exhausting cycle of guilt, drama, and self-sabotage. Of course, you are human, and you will make mistakes. You will stumble and fall short of your own standards. When that happens, the worst thing you can do is hide it in shame and pretend to be perfect. The ancient wisdom teaches us to bring our mistakes into the light. Acknowledge where you fell short. Speak it openly to someone wise who can understand and forgive you. When you refuse to hide your flaws, they lose all their power over you. You correct the behavior, you drop the heavy baggage of guilt, and you continue walking forward with a light heart. Life is wildly unpredictable. It is mysterious, it is tough, and it will sometimes knock the wind right out of your lungs. But as long as you are breathing, you have a chance to rise again. The universe does not put you in the fire to destroy you. It puts you in the fire to forge you into someone unbreakable. Remember that everything is temporary. Remember to plant seeds of kindness even when you are hurting. Master your mind by staying in the present moment, and build a fortress of discipline around your life so you can experience true, lasting freedom. If you are going through a dark time right now, please know that you are deeply valued, and your story matters immensely. Do not ever give up. Keep moving forward, one small, mindful step at a time. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Share one thing you are grateful for today, or share a story of a difficult time you successfully survived. Your testimony might be exactly what someone else needs to read today to keep going. Thank you for spending this time with me. Be patient with yourself, stay resilient, and may you find deep peace on your journey.